Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Paul again. I'm back at you with another video. Of course, you know I got videos, we have videos, and this is about ball python growth spurts. All right, so why ball python growth spurts? Well, to me, I feel like they go through growth spurts because they go from a hatchling to all of a sudden you got a bigger snake, and then you got a little bit bigger snake, and then all of a sudden you got an adult, and you look up and you got a full-size ball python that started out as something that was born 10 to 12 inches. So this is to cover that. And just to let you know where I got this information from, it was at Reptile Guide and Nature.com. You know, I like to find proof sources because it's all about the research. So let me discuss some of the things that will help you determine your ball python's growth spurt, if there is such a thing, or just to be able to better predict their growth rate over, you know, from hatchling when they're born out to 3 to 5 years. Because I think that's important, because you got to know what to feed them, you got to know how to house them, humidity levels, are you going to have multiple heat zones? I mean, there's a lot that goes along. Of course, you wouldn't house them forever in a tub, and I know we won't. As our ball pythons reach 3 to 5 years, we're going to make them more comfortable. Right now, this is our breeding project. We're trying to keep them more sterile, but eventually they'll be moving to a more bioactive enclosure just so that they can enjoy the rest of their life, because this is a lifetime investment for us, for them, as we would for our dog and cat, which we don't have either one right now, so we'll have to work on that. But anyway, how fast do snakes grow? Well, that's a funny thing, because snakes actually grow, I think it's what's called indeterminate. So it's not fixed, it's unpredictable. So you have to have the right conditions and the right amount of food for your snakes to actually reach a proper growth rate. If it's too less, then they don't grow. If it's too much, then they don't grow, which is a weird thing. But you gotta figure that snakes are slow metabolizers. So if you overfeed them, they'll just regurgitate out the rest. So that's how you'll know. That's the number one sign that you'll know that you're overfeeding. And also, if you have your snake, you'll notice how chubby they are. And I am going to show you guys snakes, I promise. One of the other things is that they continue to grow rapidly. I mean, all the way through maturity, and then all of a sudden, when they start getting around that reproductive age, they kind of stop growing. They stop growing as fast, because around the time for reproduction, so the females will be developing follicles, the males will be developing sperm plugs. They reallocate those resources, which are the rodents or the fish or the quail or whatever you're feeding. But in the case of ball pythons, it's going to be rats or mice, right? So they'll reallocate those resources into producing those follicles to make the eggs, or the sperm from the sperm plugs to generate sperm plugs. I'm sorry. So that's pretty much it, guys. So let me get right into it. Let's get, and I'm going to show you a ball python, of course. Let me get him out. This is Michael Jackson. He is our pastel hypo red gene, and he's always shy. I have no idea why he's always shy, but I'm gonna try to get him to not be so shy. So if we look at Michael Jackson, and I'll just use him to discuss our next thing. So ball pythons, like Michael Jackson, they're born about 65 or 70, 75 grams, sometimes 80 grams. And they will continue to grow and grow very fast for those first 12 months. In which at the end of that time, from hatchling to then, they'll probably get 10 times the size in length and in weight from when they were hatched. So they could get, so they're coming from 10 inches and they could actually get up to 1.5 feet, 2 feet. And in some extreme cases, 2.5 feet by the time they do that. And this little guy, Michael Jackson, will continue to grow rapidly for the first 2 to 3 years, and then by the time, since it's a male, by the time he reaches sexual maturity at 3 to 5 years, he'll probably top out at 3.5 feet. If he never misses a meal, he might be 4 feet, but his weight should be around 800 to 1,200 grams, more or less, unless he's just a pig and he wants to eat all the time, and then in which case he can be up to 1,600 grams. But this is further down the line. But as we show Michael Jackson, and he's calmed down, he's so pretty, look at him. Can you see him focusing? That's cool. So the best way to evaluate him is, so right now we're gonna weigh Michael Jackson since he's a recent pickup. And let's see if I can turn this on. So let's see how much he weighs. So Michael Jackson, as you see, is 251 grams. So what do we feed him? I think that's an important thing because a lot of the times it's hard to find the correct prey item. So whether you're feeding live or frozen thawed, what we prefer to feed is a frozen thawed rat pup to all of our snakes until they reach the size of maybe 300, 400 grams. You know, we just want to make sure that they got eating down, because sometimes these little guys, they'll try to grab it from the back and eat it from the tail end to the, you know, I guess they call it to the rooter to the tutor, or the tutor to the rooter. So, but that's what we really try to do, is make sure that they get ample amounts of food. We coat them with calcium, you know, not all the time, but maybe once a month. We're talking about the mouse, not the snake, not the snake. I mean, if you do that, that's crazy, right? But anyway, that's what we do. And that seems to be like a really good equation. And so what we've done is we got this hatchling rack that we keep all of the ones that we consider hatchlings in. And that way they can stay eating in a comfortable environment. There's very little light because this is a PVC enclosure with a plastic tub that slides in and out. And so that works for this little guy. Isn't that right, Michael Jackson? You said you're gonna beat it? You're gonna beat it? All right, whatever. But so to move on to the next size, and this one is held in a hatchling rack as well, just because we just got him and we want to make sure that he continues to eat. And what's his name? Oh, this is David Boyd. So moving right up, just so that you can predict the sizes, guys. So Michael Jackson was just born this summer, and David Boyd was born near the beginning of the year, and he's an inchy blade clown. I want to make sure you guys can see him very well. And so let's see how much David Boyd weighs. You know, so you got to watch, what was that movie, Labyrinth?
Yes.
Yeah, The Labyrinth. So you guys got to watch The Labyrinth if you want to know who David Boyd is, if you weren't born in the 80s. So if you weren't born in the 80s, you don't know who the hell I'm talking about. So I'll turn this on. And let's see how much he weighs. Come back. Let me get him to stay first. Hold on, guys. So if your ball python doesn't want to sit still, you can actually ball them up like this. And if you hold them there for a while, then they'll be still. So, and he weighs 463 grams. So David Boyd, as he's trying to squirm his little ass away. So David Boyd is right on the cusp of our next group. So as you see, he's bigger than the hatchling. So this just because they continue to grow. And that's one thing I want to tell you, because they're such slow metabolizers that when you feed them a rat this week, they're still partially digesting that rat next week when you feed them again. But what that does is that keeps their growth rate constant, and it just continues. So because that's one of the reasons also why if your ball python goes off of food for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, all the way to like 9 or 10 months or a year, they're okay because they're such slow metabolizers that their metabolic rate will continue to slow down. And let's just hope that that doesn't happen. If it does, we got other videos that you can watch on how to get your ball python back on food, because it's important for you to have a healthier, thicker snake, because, you know, it's better for the snake. And that's what this is all about. But the next thing that we're going to do, since he's already 400 and a half grams, is because for a male, which is crazy that the males are so small in the snake species, but you know, I guess that's an equal, it's what do they call that? Parity? Equality? So his next meal will probably be a weaned rat, because as you see, he's a lot longer, and since he weighs that much, you know, we got to end up moving him up so that he can go into the next range, which is a 700 gram snake. So let me try to get him back in. Again, put your hands over their heads. And that way, if you cover their heads, then you cover their thoughts. And so if you can do that, then more than likely you can control the snake. And he's gonna prove me wrong, huh? Mm-hmm. He's like, man, I've been in this box all day long. Well, get back in the box. That's where you live, bro. That's where you live, bro. So let me see. Now I'm going to get out a black pastel orange green double head clown pie. And I know that we've shown her before, but I just want you guys to see how much bigger she's gotten, as well as to use her as an example as to why we feed weaned rats once a week. She left me a mess too. They always leave a mess. So whenever you clean your snake cage, guaranteed, when you look back in there, there will be a mess for you. But this is Oprah. We named her after Oprah Winfrey. And you can see this is a black pastel orange dream. She proved to be double head for clown and pied. I haven't seen but one more of these on Morph Market. I'm pretty sure other people have these. But this is going to be an instrumental part of our clown pied project. Of course, she's too small. Anybody who knows about snakes knows that she's not 1,500 grams. She's not even 1,200 grams, I don't think. But let's see. Let me zero this back out. And we just got this scale so that I can weigh them on the actual scale. Let's see if I can ball her up. Let me get her. If I can ever get her head right. I know she's not 1,200 grams. And I know some guys, I know I'm not the only one wrestling with snakes, right? So I'm gonna take my hand off real quick, get a measurement, 965 grams. So she's a teenager. She's a teenager in all the ways. She just doesn't want to act right. And I mean, my snakes get really active when I pull them out because I think we handle them about maybe 4 or 5 times a week, at least 4, because we do a water change, a cleaning. But you can see that she's got more girth than David Bowie. She's a lot bigger than Michael Jackson. And Oprah is just a beautiful snake, but I wanted to use her to explain what you're feeding. So she's around 900 grams, right? Yes. 900 plus grams. So she's a teenager. She's almost an adult. So we're feeding her a weaned rat a week. And that might seem like a lot, but again, if we look at the way that you can't see any of her spine, she doesn't have excess body fat on her. Her skin is very tight. She just recently shed, so I know that everything's healthy on her. She has clear eyes. But the one thing that I want you guys to remember is that, you know, she is not even a year old. So she was born, I think, was she born in February? I think February of this year. And right now it's October, the middle of October almost. So that's what we have with Oprah. So, and that's, I mean, just one weaned rat a week will get her here. And then now so she's a sub-adult. Now I'm going to show you an adult male so that you can see the difference. All right, so I'm gonna put her back up. And now I'm going to get out Pepper, our pastel piebald. And he will be being paired to Big Mama so that we can make some head pies. But I just wanted to show you guys the difference in a male and a female. So the males are smaller. So males reach adulthood officially around 600, 650 grams. And so after that, they start to develop sperm plugs. Now, they may not be a successful breeder. So that's why that whole thing, when you look on Morph Market, they'll say proven breeder. That means that they got a lock and they help produce viable eggs that turn into baby snakes. So I'm gonna get you out now, Pepper. He didn't hiss? What the heck? Brother. So this is Pepper. He's our pastel piebald, and he's an adult. Pepper is over, I guess he's close to 2 years old now. So we'll see how much Pepper weighs. And he's 1,025 grams. So Pepper is a full adult male. And you can see the size that he has. You can see, now that's an adult male size. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I want you guys to look at how big he is in relation to my hands. You know, I'm 5'10", so my hands are just like normal. I'm off the rack for everything. Off the rack for clothes, shoes, shirts, pants, you name it. So, but this is Pepper. And I want to get this female out, and he's on one weaned rat a week. So we keep all of our males on just one weaned rat a week because as long as they're eating, especially during breeding season, it doesn't do you any good to make a fat snake. Like, so a leaner, quicker snake is a better breeder from a male standpoint than a fat, slow snake. I mean, you know, that's the way it works, man. I don't make the rules. Mother Nature made them. You don't like it, blame her. So I'm gonna put Pepper up, and now I'm going to get out an adult female. And she's one of my favorite adult females. She hasn't tried to tag me yet, so that might be one of the big reasons. I guess that's a great reason. But let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This is a pastel Huffman, and her name is Lucy. And I know that you've seen her before. Let's see if Lucy's gonna be good. Come on, Lucy. Oh, Lucy big, man. Look at how big Lucy's gotten, man. Check it out. Look at how big she is. So one thing I want you guys to notice is, you know, like, so can you zoom in on her head? If I can get her to. So the heads, you'll notice the maturity in the head. So especially in the pits of the, if I can see her head. Let me make sure I got her real good. I don't, because we've been pairing her up. So the head, you can see how much more mature it is, and the pits are a lot deeper and the head's a lot more pronounced. So this is an adult female, and I want to show you guys just how much she weighs. I mean, she's so strong. Like when they go from sub-adult to adult, you can definitely feel the muscle tissue in them. All right. Let's see what we got here. Come on, Lucy. Come on. You can see that she's over 2,400 grams. So, and that was a big wrestling job we did. I had to cut that, guys, you know, I'm gonna have to edit that part. But you can see just how heavy bodied she is. And this is a pastel Huffman. There aren't that many of those out there. You can see the uniqueness in her pattern. And what we're pairing her up with is a Phantom Clown, so that we can hopefully make some Huffman Phantom head clowns. And then we'll ultimately breed those in with something else to see if we can make something brand new. But, you know, Lucy is definitely the example of a adult female. And at 2,400, 2,500 grams, she's eating a small to medium rat every week. Especially right now, we're trying to get her to develop follicles. Lucy's already about 3 years old. So at 3 years old, she's 2,500 grams. So she's right up to where she needs to be. She's going to be a first-time breeder. At least we're going to try. And again, we'll be pairing her up with the Phantom Clown, Casper. So, hey guys, one thing I want you to do is just make sure that you weigh your snakes. Make sure that you spend a lot of time with your snakes and that you're paying attention to what you're feeding them. I would suggest frozen thaw because it's safer for the snake and for you, but sometimes you just got to go live. And when you do, take the proper precautions and watch the animal to make sure that they are not attacking your snake and that the death of the prey item is as quick as possible. I think that's the most humane way to do it. If you can euthanize them with CO2, do so, because it definitely helps. But if you do that, you have to do it and transfer it right over for those animals that don't want frozen thawed. But hey guys, that's all I got for this video. I thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And Lucy, say bye-bye.